And first of all, here's a word from our sponsor.
T-I-D-E, Tide.
T-I-D-E, Tide.
I got interested in sound at a fairly early age. I grew up in a part of Sydney where there wasn't a lot to do, there wasn't a lot of traffic. It was a pretty sort of flat suburban area. The years as a child, I kind of built up a library of sounds in my head.
I am Dutch, and being Dutch and being in a strange land makes me feel strange. I feel disconnected from my motherland, and that makes me sad. The computer allows us to approach reality, or it allows us to approach illusion, and we can take it either way. I'm interested in using the computer to reapproach truth and reality.
So I'm interested in creating sound spaces in public spaces that aren't necessarily consistent with the expected sounds that you would hear there.
I'm not seeking to achieve an effect. I'm dealing with my own stuff. Every day I look in the paper and there's another image of a murdered child, and so this particular work is very much about me dealing with that horror. And what the audience does with that is up to the audience.
I admit that my work has a very strong political context. It may not necessarily be apparent in some of the work that I do. There's a lot to be angry about.
I think I'm very much a child of the 20th century. I grew up with stories about the war in a country that was occupied by the Germans. And so there's a lot of sadness, and I think ultimately I'm interested in making work about sadness rather than about happiness.
Computers and art are a kind of necessary evil in terms of its relationship. Computers can be exciting in that it opens up a whole range of new possibilities for artists. Computers can also be an extraordinary hindrance to people, particularly if one is encumbered with the need to maintain the computer, to keep it up and running.
The computer allows the user to make connections between different elements rather than those pathways being determined by the artist or the author. And so the non-linear way in which art, sound can work on a computer, to me, is much more interesting because you create possibilities.
For a composer, you can set up a whole series of parameters, a whole series of rules, and then sit back and let the piece play for an hour, 8 hours, 24 hours, a week, and it'll constantly reshape itself.
To me, collage is one of the most interesting symptoms, if you like, of modernism. And of course, what the computer allows you to do is to collage things very quickly and easily. But the other really interesting thing about a computer is that you can randomise the elements. So, for example, in Epitaph, I've got a database of about 50 images, and the computer randomly picks images from that database. And so the work is always new. The work always surprises me, even when I've looked at it hundreds of hours.
You can't quantify growth, you can't stop growth. Perhaps there is no beginning to the universe. Perhaps the universe always was and always will be. Perhaps we are constantly evolving and exploding out into a future that's constantly changing.
Your call could not be connected.
Are you sure you know where you're going? You said this was a shortcut and we're already late.
Lamb chops, relax, okay? We're fine.
Shit! What's the problem?
It's the damn radiator again.
You know you have a stuffed radiator and you take a shortcut down a deserted road?
It's not a huge problem. It just needs to cool off.
Are you gonna pull over?
That's odd. Must be broken down road.
I wonder where they are.
No, that car's been there a long time.
How do you know that?
Someone's had enough time to strip it, haven't they?
So, what are we gonna do?
This has happened to me before. Let's keep calm, let the car cool down, put some water in the radiator, and we'll be back on the road.
Where are we gonna get the water?
We can look in that car. Or we can drain their radiator.
What? If you'd listened to me in the first place, we wouldn't be stuck out here in the middle of nowhere with a stuffed radiator.
What are you, scared? Do you think there's a dead body in the back of that car? Oh, I know why I remember this road. It was a few years back. 7 young lovers were killed in the summer. Their bodies were found in the back seat of the car, throats slit. A very ugly, very messy way to go.
You are such a fucking prick. Can't you just be serious for 5 seconds and get us out of this mess?
Lamb chop. Come on, I'm sorry. I was just having a go.
Why do you have to be such an asshole?
I don't know. Did I scare you?
Yes.
I'm just playing games with you because I like you.
You've got a funny way of showing it.
Well, if we can't play games and we've got all this time, then what can we do?
You've got to be kidding. We're in the middle of nowhere with an abandoned car in front of us and God knows who out there. You cannot be horny.
Just because the car has to cool off doesn't mean we have to.
Aren't you a bit scared?
We did it in your mum's bed. How much more scary can you get?
My mother catching us and mass murder are two very different things.
Not when you're a bloke who's fond of his balls. Making up's the best part, don't you think?
So, do you think the car's cooled down enough? No way. No more for you till we get home.
Well, I certainly have my incentive to get the car fixed.
Is it true what you said about this road?
Hey, it's just being a jerk.
Do you think there really is a dead body in that car?
I was just having fun. Why don't you go look in that car out front for some water containers? We'll probably have to drain their radiator. Hey, sweets. I said I was sorry. You're not still scared, are ya? I really need you to go and look in that car for some water containers. While you do, I'm going to put some oil in the engine.
Why can't you go to the car?
Lamb chop, how many times have you put oil in an engine?
Fucking bastard. There's a dead body in the car. We've got to get out of here. Come on. Are you listening to me? There is a dead body in that car.
Do you want to know how it got there?
Reality is rarely what it seems. People are rarely who they seem. Peel back the layers of this city street and you enter another world. A late Victorian world of elegance and fantasy. A world where facades are dropped. A world where people can be somebody else. Like the street outside, the interior of the house doesn't match its exterior. Peel back one more layer and an entirely different world appears. Inside this unassuming terrace house is Salon Kitty's, one of the world's premier bondage parlours. Amanda Dwyer has owned Salon Kitty's since 1989.
We do all sorts of things. Actually, bondage is a really bad name for it because we just do so many different things. Fetishes, for instance, and bondage is a fetish. But BDSM or bondage discipline and sadomasochism has become very popular in the last 10 years, particularly with the onset of the internet.
Clients can use 7 rooms, and here again things are never what they seem. The cross-dressing room, with its extensive array of dresses, wigs and shoes, resembles the back rooms of a theatre. And the pink room, with its antique splendour, looks anything but a bondage chamber. Not surprisingly, the most popular rooms are the dungeons. Kate has been a mistress for almost 20 years.
All the different equipment has different sensations. We start warming up with a hand spank, and that can get very heavy. A hand spank can be very painful. And then we go to paddles. We've got all different sorts of paddles, leather paddles, to straps. The straps are longer, as you can see, they're longer. Here's another paddle, a latex, that's another material that paddles are made out of, but this has got spikes on it, so that is very painful and leaves nice big marks. This is a wheel. You attach someone into this around their waist up through their legs here, and you spin them around like this so they can be upside down for a while, which is really good for torture or just tease. We had a party here, I had a girl in here, and I was spinning it around like that, really, really fast. She was having a carnival time. She said it was better than Australia's Wonderland. The canes vary in sizes from thin to thick. The thinner the cane is, the more stinging sensation it gives when it hits the bottom. A carpet beater, and that's quite painful too. And a switch. It's got the little bit on the end. That's very painful as well. And there's another cane with a handle on the end. But in the end, it all hurts.
It is a common misconception that anyone can become a sex worker. The reality, however odd it may seem, is quite the opposite. Anyone wanting to go into the industry is treated no differently from a mechanic or hairdresser and becomes an apprentice for 12 months.
They go into session, they go in with different mistresses and watch how each of us interact with a client in different scenes. That's the interaction part. Then as far as the bondage side of it is concerned, they learn, we have some workshops. They learn from other mistresses, they practice on each other. We have a couple of clients who give workshops because they're excellent at bondage and they really enjoy teaching the apprentices as well, so that's another side to it. But basically they really have to go through stages just like you would in a hairdressing salon or any other apprenticeship.
Vivian has been an apprentice at Salon Kitty's for the past 10 months. She's also studying law at university.
As an apprentice, you have to go in, first of all, with a mistress into sessions and watch what she does. You have to kind of also speak the language. You can't ask blatant questions. It's very much about power. So even with a mistress, you have to just watch. Normally in a job you would be saying, hey, what's that for? What's this for? As an apprentice, you have to step back and let the session be conducted, and then you can ask later on for instruction.
The inherent hierarchical system in the BDSM world means being an apprentice can be difficult.
It's really about respect. And the senior mistresses have their spots in the staff room, and so you don't sit in their spot, you don't ask stupid questions, you don't put yourself forward for a job that you're not capable of doing. If they don't get along with the girls out there, then they won't last at Salon Kitties.
As an apprentice, Vivian has experienced the hierarchical system firsthand. Some of the mistresses at Salon Kitties objected to us filming an interview with Vivian, solely because she was an apprentice.
If an apprentice mistress assumes that she knows a lot more than she does, and if the other mistresses have decided that her knowledge is insufficient and she wants to conduct a session on her own, well, they'll certainly put a stop to it. Yeah, they'll certainly let you know.
When your working life revolves around sex, it's easy to see how the job could harm certain personalities. Even the grounded, intelligent ladies at Salon Kitties haven't escaped personal problems.
Yeah, it does. As you know, my husband is my partner in the business. We always have to think twice as to who we tell what we do. My kids, I have 5, 1 stepdaughter and 4 kids, and there's been a few times for them it's been difficult. My mother nearly died when I first told her. She sort of rocked back and forth in the chair saying, oh God, what have I done, what have I done, what did I do wrong, you know. But then she certainly changed her tune, and she sort of makes some clothes for the adult babies. She's made lots of bonnets and booties and big bibs.
My parents actually don't know what I do, but I have allowed my brother to know, only in the event that something does happen to me, and that something quite bad happens to me, then he'll be able to know the reason why this has happened.
The public may not be able to understand why or how these women can come back day after day, but they all have their reasons.
I think it brings out another part of... I think everybody has secret components of themselves, and I think for me personally, I think it allows me to bring that out, to live it, to breathe it, and to express some form of passion. It's a good experience, particularly with new people that come in and they've just had this idea in their head for a long time, and they eventually get enough courage and enough oomph to do it, and they have a really good session, and it's really kind of heartwarming afterwards that they have, that they go, wow, it's a really good thing.
Reality is never what it seems. Peeling back the layers of society can reveal things we might not wish to see, but it can also enrich our knowledge of human nature, destroy misconceptions, and alter our beliefs and prejudices. Nothing or no one is worthy of their public image, be it good or bad. Only when we look behind the facade can the true face of humanity be revealed.
Got the bait, mate. No worries, mate.
There's dancing behind movie scenes.
You've been fishing again, haven't you? You were meant to help me with the yard today. Do you know the lawn yet?
From the morning past the evening to the end of the light.
What? You're a funny child.
It's cellular. It's a feeling that comes from within. You know. It's cellular. It's a feeling that comes from within. You know. It's cellular. It's a feeling that comes from within. This is very possible for us. You know. It's cellular. It's a feeling that comes from within. You know. It's cellular. It's a feeling that comes from within. This is very possible for us. You know. It's what's happening now on the cellular level. 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 It's what's happening now on the cellular level.
Oh, when I was about, well, I don't know what age I was, but we were coming home from school, my brother and my sister were coming home from school one day, and it was in the 1940s, and we were taken away when children were all taken away at the time, but I didn't know. So apparently we were just taken away, put in a truck and sent off to Cootamundra Homes, I was, and my brother was sent to Kinchler Homes.
We started out as a small program for 6 weeks, just meeting with some elders and trying to get some of their more interesting aspects of their lives onto tape. It was just a 1 day a week for 6 weeks, funded under the outreach program from Riverina Institute of TAFE.
And we stayed in the Cootamundra Homes till my auntie arranged to get us out. But a lot of the ones that were taken away didn't ever come home, you know, because they didn't have anyone there to sort of vouch for them. But my auntie was a pretty strong woman. The oral history is about our life stories. A lot of we've got on tape about something about our life and things like that.
Because each one of us have a different story to tell. And for the government to say that stolen children never existed, that's lying. I'm still looking for my family and I'm 60 years old. One daughter before I got married and she was taken, and so the head sister at the Calvary Hospital, she sent me over to her sister in Tasmania, and that was the saddest time I've ever had. I had to give her up. Anyway, people say, how can women give their children up? It's not easy. You grieve for them the whole time. You wonder how they're growing up, when they, you know, what they look like, and what they're doing, and are the people that have adopted them, are they good to them? And you dream of these people with great big houses and best education that they could ever have, and sometimes when I found her later on, you find them again. It's not like that at all. You can't be bitter. But just so upset. When I talk about it, I get so upset.
At the end of that 6 weeks, these women had come together and got to know each other. Up until then, they had known each other to say hello to, but really hadn't shared stories. And it was the sharing of the stories that brought them together, and they really grew in strength and realised that their common purpose in life was to bring about a reconciliation amongst all Aboriginal people. Many of the women are from other parts of New South Wales. They're not Wagga Wagga original inhabitants, if you want to put it that way.
Within the Aboriginal community, I think it's very important that they reconcile with one another. I think they need to have a look at where they're coming from and where their values lie, and I think that they can get the others to reconcile then. But I think it's important that the Aboriginal people reconcile with one another.
Yes, we reconciliate with each other, and then in the wider community that happens too. People see us as not as the stereotype Aboriginal people, they see us as just like themselves.
The same thing, their culture's the same, and they've got to understand that we're all, and if we've got respect for one another, I mean, of course you can give it to others, but you've got to have respect for yourself before you can give it to other people.
Well, the reconciliation process is one of understanding each other and accepting each other, and that's the focus for this elders group, is to reconcile amongst each other and to bring reconciliation into the community, and that is their main focus. They are determined that they will be able to reconcile with each other and with the broader community. They actually sign all their correspondence with yours in reconciliation. That's their trademark, if you like. Their activity has become such a public face for the Aboriginal community. It's been overwhelming at times for them and for me. So yeah, I see their role as just being one of role model, leaders, movers, shakers, whatever they want to be, they're going to do it.
There's a good future ahead for us, plus the younger generation coming up. We could be a role model to the younger generation coming up, so that when they're elders, the elders won't fall apart.
If they need us for anything, we're always there. So that's what we're really about. We're trying to establish a network here, so the young people will be able to come to us whenever they're in need of, advice or whatever they need.
I mean, I feel very privileged to work with people like these elders. It's one time very scary, but the other just so exciting that we've come together as a group of people that can accept each other, acknowledge our differences, but see our strengths and work together to use those strengths to the betterment of each other.
We've got a kinship together, we're there for each other, where we could be a role model, we can brighten up the future, we can go ahead, now it's the year 2000, we can start being proud of who we are and help other people.
On your face, the answer is here, and the light in your eyes. Don't hide it away like the dots on the shelves. They shine.
Oh, shit.
Now, you listen to me. Do you understand that our company launches tonight? If you can't cater us, No, I can't wait. Don't put me on hold. The bastard put me on hold. I can't believe it. I need a Valium.
You and me both. Listen, Mel, I know you're flat out, but when you get a minute, can you make up another file for the Board and Wines project?
The incompetent little turd.
We've got papers on it everywhere, and it's our first project. We can't afford to mess this up.
Hello? Hello? I can't believe it.
He hung up on me. The little shout. Just promise me, make up another file. And if Borden rings, put him through to me already, straight away.
Sure. Carrie, sorry.
No word from Eddie?
No.
Shit.
Looking good, Ed.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, hey, don't worry about it. It's only the most important day in the history of beef productions to date.
Thanks for the reminder. We better have a meeting, eh?
Yeah, I think we better.
Yes, I know it's tempting to wave the white flag, but Mrs. Ellicott, I promise you'll be glad you held out in the end. Okay. I'll talk to you later. You have a nice day. Bye. Morning.
Do you have any concept of consideration?
I'm sorry, did I wake you?
Oh, Zara, your blatant lack of empathy never ceases to amaze and disgust me.
Uni today?
Just truancy 101. Not that it's any of your business.
Tash, really? Do you think law is easy? You can't cut classes and swap the night before exams. It's just not like that. Tash, law is not a job. It's a lifestyle. And I think you need to question your aspiration in this field as a whole.
Question my aspiration. Oh, now there's an idea. Positively ingenious. What do you reckon, Nathan? Am I sufficient enough to make a cutthroat barrister like our beloved Zara here?
Hey, I'm an actor whose full-time occupation is bartending.
Actually, I think I've got a better chance in a career in sleep deprivation experiments.
Mr. Thompson, how's my favourite client today?
Off to a good start.
Where are you off to?
Day shift. Got a double today. How about you? What have you got? No, wait, don't tell me. An ethical lawyer, the great oxymoron.
Hey, can you answer me something? Why is it automatically assumed in today's society that the tertiary education system is the sole option for the school leaver?
Oh, Tash. Existential crisis?
Something like that.
Well, you know, I think I do have the answer to that one.
Oh yeah? What's that?
In one word, Bloody Mary.
Okay, so the main thing we need to worry about at the moment is a presenter. I'm really concerned we're not going to be able to find someone who's high profile enough to satisfy Frank Borden, yet willing to do a promotional corporate video.
Yeah, it's a toughie. It basically needs to be a publicly renowned Australian wine lover.
Shouldn't be that hard when you think about it. How many famous Aussie pissheads can you think of?
Yeah, too many. Unfortunately, none I can see wanting to do this.
Eddie, we can't afford to lose this project. Borden Wines is one of the most influential companies in Sydney today. Frank Borden's been a client of my dad's for years. If we can't give him what he wants, it's Dad's reputation on the line. And if anything happens to Dad's shipping business, we can kiss this place goodbye.
Carrie, I'm sure it's not going to get to that point. What about Philip? What does he think?
What do I think about what?
Hi, Philip.
Hi, Phil. We're just having a meeting.
So I see. What seems to be on today's agenda?
Oh, no, nothing really. Just everyday housekeeping stuff.
No, actually, Carrie, I disagree. I think Phil has a right to know what we're talking about. After all, he's the, what is it? Supervising Director of Production?
Try me.
Cass?
Okay, we're talking about presenters for the Borden Wines project.
Borden Wines project.
Yeah, you remember. Bee's first production. Who do you think would be good as a host, Phil?
I think I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah, well, you go do that. You go have a think and get back to us, because we could really do with your input.
I'm in the process of making my final touches for my speech for tonight's launch. But once I'm done, I'll do that, Ed. I'll see you guys later.
Eddie, what the hell did you do that for?
Carrie?
No, that was totally uncool, Ed.
For God's sake, Carrie, the guy has no clue what's going on. He's completely out of the loop.
Yeah, you're probably right. But he's also my brother.
I'm sorry.
Look, let's forget it. Now, where were we?
Hi and welcome to Garage Live at Charles Sturt University.
1,000 more, climbing up to the top of the hill. 7,000 more, and they're probably there still. 7,000 more, and one named Bill. still handle. Wanna see if you can tell. Cling to my literary bell, cling to my liberty bell. And I got my plastic skin, free from your world of sin, free from your world of sin. I'm warm and safe within. What would I do if I was here with you? I wouldn't do anything. What would I do if I was here with you? I'd do nothing at all.
We've heard some fantastic songs tonight from Nummy Snug. What do you think?
The quality is up to my usual standard. This stuff is shit.
Statements about quality are easily made, but the proof's in the pudding. Many a time I've heard a merchant proclaim about quality and the purity of their goods, just to be proved, like you said, shit.
Don't you know who I am?
You think I'm that dumb? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
What'd I do this time? Killed your dog? Raped your sister? Stories get better every time.
Cost price, it should be agreeable. It has to do with a treaty and a business deal, and I'm sure you know the rest.
Ah, one of Temperature's lower minions, I see. Still partying after your latest ghosts, are we? I'm gonna fucking pay for that.
Well, then I guess we better close this deal. But first things first. Do you remember Blade?
Goddamn amateurs.
Bernadette. I hope you slept well, dear. You've got a big day ahead.
I sure did. I brought you yesterday's newspapers. There are so many pretty people in the world.
There are, aren't there?
So, what area today?
Just the town.
Okay then, bye!
Bye!
Poor Mrs. Mavis. If only she hadn't have taken in that silly old cat, her lungs would still have worked.
Bernadette. What's got you so glum this afternoon? You were as merry as a pack of galahs this morning.
Well, I noticed someone is moving into the old Mavis place. Do you know anything?
The old Mavis place? Not much gets past me, but you've got me stumped on that one.
Oh, Mr. Potter, I just wish someone would come to town so I can play with them. I get so bored, and Mummy gets real cross when I start playing tag with the goats. She says it makes their milk curdle and their horns curl. Oh, I must have upset an awful lot of them.
Let's do a deal then. You leave your mama's goats alone, and I'll do some asking round.
Will you, Mr. Potter? Really?
Yep. Now you get yourself home. Your poor mum must be worried sick.
Thanks, Mr. Potter. Bye.
Cheerio.
Morning, Mr. Potter.
Oh, good morning. No news about those new people yet?
I don't care anymore. Mama said they could be bad people.
Oh, yes, they could be. Hey, it looks like a ripper of a day out there. Good day for you to get yourself down to Somerton's Bend.
I love the river.
I hear it's become a bit of a popular spot for picnics. You might find plenty of stuff down there.
See you soon, Mr. Potter.
Bye, Bernadette.
Are you new here? My name's Bernadette Kettle. What's yours?
Albert Loft.
You really should talk louder. How do you expect anyone to hear you? Anyway, you know, Mrs. Mavis used to live in your new house. She took an stray cat, you know. Then she died. Ever since she got that cat, she would breathe funny and always hold a brown paper bag to her mouth. My mama said she did it because of allergies. I think she just used to like blowing up the bag and popping it when the cat wasn't looking. Maybe one day she ran out of air and couldn't play with the cat anymore. The cat probably got sad and ran away, and that's why Mrs. Mavis died. Because she missed a cat. Mama always tells me that it's rude to walk away from strangers when they're talking to you. Now, what is that funny piano thing?
It's an accordion. You make music with it. My mum wants me. I have to go.
Well, just wait till you want to have a look at my scrapbook. I'm sick of playing this hiding game. I never get to hide. Albert!
Troy! Childflight takes intensive care to over 160 hospitals in the New South Wales or ACT area.
He had breathing difficulties.
So they called experts from Childflight in.
Carrying the most precious cargo in the world.
Children and babies who are critically sick.
They ultimately saved his life.
No 2 days were ever the same.
They're saving lives every single day.
I have a saying, the smaller the town, the bigger the criminals. You see, in a small town, you don't have to follow the crime. Not like in the big cities. In a small town, the crime comes to you. I live in a town called Wagga Wagga. Small town, big crime. I awoke as usual, knowing I'd already lost valuable time. I don't need to tell you, crime never sleeps. I put on my disguise. Just an ordinary guy. I grabbed my notebook and headed out onto the street. I turned the corner onto West 43rd and waved to the driver of Route 501 as he passed me. 8:45, right on time. I crossed the road to the newspaper stand and gave Joey my 50 cents.
Hot day today, Sam. Sure is.
Hot day for crime, I was thinking. As usual, I kept my eyes peeled for anything that would give me a lead. In the distance, I caught a glimpse of a figure turning down an alleyway. I quickened my pace. My mind began racing. Could that have been Robbie Knuckles? Maybe he'd come back to start trouble. Maybe he was trying to establish an illegal gambling ring right here under our noses. But that could wait. Something else had caught my eye. Adelaide. She appeared to me across the street as though she'd been there all along. I had to get a closer look. And I recognised the guy who she was with. Harry Binkles. He had his finger in a lot of rotten pies.
Harry, we'll just have to get hold of it as soon as he gets back.
That's if we can catch him. It's a bit risky.
Baby, relax. You'll see. Everything will be okay as soon as Benny gets back in town.
I'd heard all I needed to hear. They could only be talking about one Benny. Benny the Duke. Benny the Duke was a no-good pimp who lived on the east side of town. I knew that he and Harry had done business. But how could Adelaide be involved? And why was Robbie Knuckles in such a hurry? I tried to make sense of it all. It just didn't add up.
Brown, what are you doing in this neck of the woods?
My heart skipped a beat. He was quick.
Just taking a walk.
But not quick enough.
I forgot you lived around here.
Yeah, well, it's my kind of neighbourhood.
Doesn't Benny live out here too?
Yeah, on the next block. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll catch you later.
And I'll catch you sooner or later. I thought that my cover was blown. Cue-ball was my only friend in the ring, and like most good friends, he didn't know what I did, and he didn't think that I knew what he did. It was kind of obvious, maybe not to the untrained eye, but to me it was clear as crystal. He dressed well. He always had a lot of cash, a lot of friends coming to visit. Cue-ball was a drug dealer. But I had him in my files. It wouldn't be too long before he dealt a bad hand. I kept my eyes down. It was pretty rough in these parts of town and I didn't need to draw any unnecessary attention to myself. I remembered that I'd seen Benny the Duke the other day. He was giving his number to One-Eyed Charlie. One-Eyed Charlie got his name because he would gouge one eye out of every man who couldn't pay his debts. He said that he left the other one so they could see him coming next time and have their wallets ready.
G'day, Sammy. You get up to any mischief?
He would wink all of the time in conversation just to remind you. When I got to Benny the Duke's house, I noticed that no one was home. Maybe I should pick the lock and take a look around inside, I thought. But the sun was starting to set, and tomorrow always brings another crime. I started my slow walk home. I knew that I was getting closer to cracking the case. This would be a hard day to log. So many familiar faces, each a partner in this underground crime ring. But how do they all fit together? And who is really in charge? And the question that puzzled me the most, the one thing that I haven't been able to put my finger on all day? What do they want with Adelaide?
Around and around they fought Please put on your 3D glasses now and ensure the red lens is over your left eye. Enjoy the show!
And it should be just around here somewhere on good old UHF.
Thanks, Leonard. You're my hero.
No problem.
Get out of here, nerd boy. Start to make this room stink. Stupid 4 eyes.
4 eyes? I don't wear glasses.
Don't worry about Mike, he's harmless.
Harmless? Sure he is. See ya.
No, I can see them. No, you can't. Leonard's got on a VHF, he'll never tune in. Get out of the way, you're hogging all the room.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how'd it go?
Amazing.
Was she good?
Of course she was good. She was fantastic. Her looks, her style.
Yeah, 4-bit graphics are the future. And 64K RAM, how could a programmer even utilize it all? Leonard? What were you talking about?
The styling.
You've never been a fan of the wood veneer?
Yes, I have.
I think you might have had your eyes on something else. Like the girl next door?
No, I didn't.
You can't touch it, Leonard. No one can. Mike's a big guy on campus and she's his girl. You know what you need?
I know what I need.
You need a good old-fashioned hacking competition to get your delirious mind off of something you can't have. I'm setting a limit of 1 week, and by then, all hacking projects must be unveiled, starting from... 1, 2, 3... Now! There's no way. Voltron would never be able to beat Devastator.
Have you seen the size of a Transformer against Redline? There's no way Voltron would lose. Oscar?
He's got you there. Redline's bigger than any Transformer. So how's your project going anyway? Man, I'm hungry.
Slowly. Quicker if I had a 2CI.
If you had a 2CI, you'd be so busy drooling you'd never use it.
Granted.
Hello, Mendoza's Pizza?
So where are you at?
I'm ready to dial in.
Impossible.
Please. Oh, darn stupid newfangled device. Boss, have these orders been taken care of?
Look, if it's on the screen, deliver it. That's all I ask.
Okay.
So Brandon, what's your plan? Who are you hacking?
Patience, my dear fellow.
It's not going to work. You've had inadequate preparation. We only began this competition tonight. There's no way you could have done all this evening. Unless you stole it from a local bulletin board.
You know my stance.
We'll see.
Here's your order. 10 large pizzas, 2 garlic breads, all paid for in advance. Thanks.
I can't wait to see what you guys can do. So when the bread goes down and the toast comes up, where does the bread go? Where does it go? It just goes.
Hey guys. Just thought you'd like to know I'm unveiling my project tonight.
Where at?
The disco.
The disco? You remember what happened last time we tried to get in there? Yeah, my back still hurts.
I don't care about the danger. I only care about the project.
And what exactly does this project entail? Inconceivable.
guys from somewhere?
No, we're from the future.
So what's this project about? Because what I see here, it's nothing but...
And tonight, you can dance it off for the trophy against the Jive Master 2000, our in-house computerized dance scoring system that lets us know who's got the coolest grooves this side of the Milky Way. Well, that was some moves, Mike. Your score tonight is... Four out of 10.
What?
Too bad. That was some nice dancing.
You know what, buddy? I'd love to see you do better.
Who's going to be our next contestant to battle the Jive Master?
Leonard, what are you doing?
Oh, you've got to be kidding. This will be a good laugh.
In actual scientific tests,
Oh my God. I can't look.
Ten out of 10. A perfect score. Congratulations.
They were some nice moves.
Thanks, I taught myself.
Stupid computer thing! Spastic novelty event, doesn't even know it. Smooth groovy. What? Ah!
Well, Leonard, that was some project.
Project.
I'll tell you later.
Oscar, you think you can live up to it?
You tell me.
Okay, everybody out.
It's happening in the street, it's happening in the school.